Good morning. We are Monday morning, and my name is Dominique. I'm a 10x business coach, and I'm actually giving you every Monday a live with tips and tricks of how you can think bigger and act better. And today I want to talk about the fact that when you feel guilty about willing to have wealth, you probably will keep yourself small. So I want to help you today to look into your guilt and see if there are other things you can do to get out of that. And just make sure that you can build your wealth like you feel is the best way to do this. So honestly, I start a live every Monday at 8:30. I did it today again. And then somebody told me that the sound didn't work. So I'm starting all over again. And that's fine. I'm never giving up. And that's one of the first things that you have to do when you want to be wealthy is not giving up on anything. And certainly not on something that you go for when you go on failure. I gave a webinar last Monday about the 13 rules of success. And the 13th rule is go for failure, because it's only when you go for failure that you can win and that you can get things done. So here I am. I'm starting all over again. So, yes, what is the topic for today? It's about the ambition that you have of not feeling guilty. And it's important that you understand the three reasons why you actually should not have that guilt. And I will give you three tips as well of what you actually can do to overcome that and start building your wealth. And wealth is it's a definition that everybody has that can be different from one person to another. But just for myself, I want to make sure that wealth is well understood as being wealthy in love, giving extension of everything I can for people that I'm caring for. It's about obviously getting the right money and getting the money in such a way that it gives me legacy and it can help me feel as well satisfied about what I have, but living in freedom and in a wealthy way, without having to be worried all the time. I think that's an important element for myself. But you have to make for yourself out what is your definition of wealth, obviously. But I want to make sure that you understand that also having money, and because money is an important topic that we need to have when we want to be wealthy. And I know that a lot of people always think, oh, we don't talk about money because it's not an important, well, it's important, but we don't want to talk about it. But because again, we feel guilty that we talk about willing to have more money. But we live in a world today where you cannot really be without money, right? I mean, that's a fact. And when you look at that in that way, you can think about it differently. And so creating wealth is actually not a bad thing. It's a good thing. And I'll tell you why. The first reason is that if you have ambition, then you actually are wealthy already, because the ambition is going to drive and give you the direction that you want to go into. So ambition is actually a gift, and take that gift as something that you get and that you can be proud of. So be ambitious, because it's only giving you that feeling of being satisfied about what you can bring and what you can do. But if you don't have any ambition, then you're pretty much like, death, if I can say, inside. But if you have ambition, then you feel that there is so much more to go for. So think big, go bigger, and make sure that you go with that ambition. Don't be afraid about it and show it to people. Because when you set it into the world, then you will be in such a better position than if you just keeping it and hiding it away from everybody. So go for that ambition. That's the first thing. The second one is when you grow, you don't give yourself only possibilities, but you also help others to grow. So don't be selfish again on that part. So don't feel guilty about willing to be ambitious, because the ambition is going to help you to go for your full potential and giving you possibilities of doing things that you might not think you were possible or you were capable of doing. And that will also help others to do it, because they will be inspired by you, because they will see that you have been able to do things, and so they can learn from you and do the same thing. So go for that ambition and go for that um, grow that you want to go into. So that's the second one. The third one is replace your guilt by gratitude. Sounds maybe stupid, but it's not. Be grateful for what you already have as a drive. Because when you drive, when you have ambition, it means that you are in a position that is so much better than when you stay small in your, let's say in front of the TV, not doing anything. You want to just be in that position where you can be grateful because you have that drive. It's so much better, honestly. And I feel that today. I have been, not that I haven't been ambitious, but I always wanted to travel when I was younger. I did that. I'm still traveling a lot and I'm still going to do a lot of that. But I never had a real goal of where I wanted to be. And I didn't think about wealth. If I had to tell my 18-year-old today what I needed to do to be in a better position than maybe where I am today, is getting to learn how to build that wealth. I'm telling my children, I have twins, they are 17 now. I'm telling them now already how they can build that wealth and not wait till they are like myself, 54 years old. I just want to, well, I'm 57, but I started to build it when I was 54. But I just want to say that wealth is something good. It's something that you want to go for. And by everything that you can do, you can only help yourself, but you also can help others. So take that as a gratitude. Now, there are three reasons and things that I want to give, not three reasons, but three things that I want to give you so that you can actually start being in a mental position of driving and going forward than only to think about the guilt of willing to express your wealth. And so the first thing is to face the facts. Face the facts in such a way that you actually look at your math, your numbers. Because 1 million today is not going to give you enough to live in a free life, let's say, on the long term. If you earn 1 million, you would think I'm rich. But rich is only about money, and wealthy is not just about money. But if you have 1 million and you have an income of 40,000 a year, that means that you have more or less 3,000 euros a month to live on. And you might think, well, that's sufficient. I don't need much more. That's okay. You can live with 3,000 every month for 25 years. But remember that life is getting more expensive. There is the inflation. There is so much more that you need to pay for. Depends also if you're healthy, no problem. But if you get an illness, I don't wish it for you, obviously. But if you get some bad, suppose you would have cancer, suppose that you have a car accident, suppose that, it's all those bad things that come across in our life and we cannot avoid it. It's part of our life. But when they happen and you don't have enough money, you start to get worried. You start to get anxious. You start to get fear. And that's not what you want. You want to be able to live in such a circumstances that you don't have to worry all the time. And not worrying is to have that peace of mind, and that peace of mind is wealth. So you have to build that wealth. So make the calculation for yourself. Try to see how much you need every month and add a little extra on top of that. Because, if you're not healthy for the rest of your life, and at one point when you get 70 years old and you have to basically go to an assisted living, it's not 40,000 a year that you need anymore. It's 76 more or less in average. That's what I saw on the internet. 76,000 a year. That's a big difference. And if you need that and you only live on that 3,000 a month, you might get in a really difficult situation. So think about what is the math for you and do that in reverse engineering, how much that you need every month to get by in such a way that you can live without worrying. And that's wealth. The second one that I want to give you as something that you can think about is reframe your money for responsibility. Your responsibility is to be successful. Your responsibility is to get that money. So it's not a guilty thing to have, because it's selfish if you would not do anything about it, because then you cannot help others. You cannot be wealthy with your employees. You cannot be wealthy with your family. You cannot be wealthy for yourself. So take money as something that is an obligation, a duty, and a responsibility. So if you take responsibility for that, you take not only responsibility for yourself, but you also take responsibility for others. And the third thing that you should think about is invest in your ambition. Invest in it. Take time to go and learn from others. I'm giving so much stuff for free away. My coach is doing it. There are so many others. Choose the one that you feel good with. Choose the one that has done it before you. And you don't need to learn from those that are already at Z, because you might get, at such a point that you're getting, how can I say, intimidated by somebody that already has done so much, and you would think it's impossible for me to get there. Learn from somebody like myself, for example. I'm not at A anymore. I'm not at C, but I'm at D. I consider myself at D. I have already made the steps from A to B, from B to C, and now I'm at D. I'm so much further than I was 2 years ago, and I'm still growing and expanding and getting there. But it asks myself to be investing in myself every day. I'm learning every day. Like I'm reading this book right now from Grant, The Wealth Creation Formula. And it gives me so much more expansion of my mind and understanding as well what I need to do to build that wealth. But I'm not guilty about it anymore. I'm not afraid to being saying that wealth is important for me. Just to give you an example, this weekend I went to Porto with 4 ladies. I did a test on a mastermind abroad because I wanted to try 2 days of business discussions on challenges and exchanging, bonding, connecting with people, but do this in a place where your mind is already expanding because you are in a nice place and you feel already wealthy because you can do that somewhere else than just at your home. And by being together like this, you can feel the energy flowing because you meet other people that are in the same conditions as you. They actually want to thrive, they want to expand, they want to be bigger and think bigger. And that means that when you can do this also with other people in a place that are giving you that ambitious feeling, then you are already investing in yourself, and you feel already that your mind and your body is in such a place that you can expand those things. But go on YouTube, go on lives like this, go on internet, it doesn't matter, but just invest in yourself. And it's requiring time, it's requiring effort, it's requiring money sometimes, when you want to do this with a coach. Because like I'm doing one-on-one coaching, like I can coach you every week for a year, for 2 years, for as long as you think you need it, but you will go so much faster. You will be kept accountable. You will feel that when you need to discuss with somebody that has already experienced things and has learned from those that are being already billionaires, and I can learn from him every day because I'm I'm a certified 10x performance coach from Grant. Well, that's what I want to do. I want to feel satisfied by helping others to get faster where they want to be than to remain small and not go for it. So again, if you feel that it's time for you to build that wealth as well, to think bigger, and you might already be successful in what you do, but you still feel that there is more in you, then that's where I can help you. And I'm giving you that kick in the butt. I do this with the one-on-one coaching. I do this with masterminds. I do this with 2-day immersion days here at home, where I deep dive with you in what it is that you want to be wealthy about and how you can expand your thinking and your goals. And then we get you to a plan and get those actions out there. But it's only you who can decide how do you control your life, what you want to do with it, and if you want to do something with it. So I hope that this life is going to give you that feeling like I want to be wealthy. Put it in writing, say it out loud. Be courageous about it as well. When you talk with people, don't be afraid to talk about it, because it's not being guilty that will help you to get wealthy, but it's not about being selfish either, but it is about making the decision to willing to be it and do whatever it needs to do do whatever you need to do to get there. All right. So every Monday I'm here. And if it doesn't work the first time, I'm doing it the second time. If I need to, I will do it the third time. I'm not going to give up. I can only be here to help others. And if I'm afraid of doing things, I cannot help others. So I'm not afraid to fail. I'm going for it. And I will do this every Monday. All right. Take care. And I'll see you next week. Bye.